Hello, everybody. I guess we'll get started now. So the main thing to discuss today is the release of subspaces on testnet 4 and other associated stuff with that, like the launch of our wallet, Nacho, which will allow you to manage subspaces. So besides that, I think there was one bug where renewing, where if you tried to renew a domain that a name that had expired, it caused an issue. So, but I'll let Buffer talk more about that.
Hey everyone. So after the call, we will make an announcement. We have updated Acron and SpaceD to fix the crash. It essentially makes SpaceD crashes, so this fixes it after the update. And we have done all the major components for the subspaces launch. So we have released an initial version for subspaces on testnet 4, and now it's getting all the final updates. And so we're releasing, so we have a Nacho now available on the Android Play Store, and also it will be also coming to the App Store soon. I think we're just going to submit it and have to wait for the app review, but then it will be available on the App Store as well. And we're also releasing libveritas, which makes it very easy to build integrations for spaces. It works in a similar way to BIP 353, so it's completely stateless. You give it a certificate and it will verify the ownership for it. So it makes it super easy to build things like sign in with spaces, or having your or like building a chat app, or any use case that involves a space handle or like a Nostr integration. All of that will be possible with libveritas, which we'll be releasing today as well. And also subs will get some updates to the certificate format. It's also being released today. So from now until January, we will be doing the final tests for subspaces, and if everything is good, we're probably going to release it on mainnet in January and have everything ready for that.
So yeah, I don't. Thanks, Buffer. Should we talk about what Nacho will do? I don't know if Alex wants to discuss it, or because I know it's available on. It just was on. Just published to the Google Play.
So I can talk about it, but can Alex talk? Let's see.
There, I approved him. So.
Testing.
Hello. Yeah. So for the Nacho is basically done right now. Right now it's locked only to the testnet, but you still can do some stuff, play around with it. You can add your handles as certificate, and also you can like buy, but not really buy, just claim for free the subspaces from at Bitcoin. And you can also play with a backup system, with a keystore system, with restore of the wallet and stuff like that. So right now we have just this big delay with Apple Store because of verifications and stuff. But if you use Android, you can already do this, and I hope you'll do this, so we can find maybe some issues, some bugs, and have some feedbacks. So that's it.
So with Nacho, we were thinking like during the testnet 4 period, you will be able to create Bitcoin handles directly on Nacho and get them for free on testnet 4, just to play with the functionality a bit and how the operators would work with batching the handles, committing them on chain, and giving you a certificate. So you'll be able to play with all of that when you download Nacho and send a request to the operator to use it.
So yeah, it's currently in the Google Play Store, and it's we submitted it to Apple well, we're just waiting for approval, and it'll also be available. I mean, we'll put more information up on Nacho.io. So yeah, if you could download that and test that, that would be great. We want to do as much testing as we can for the next month, and then hopefully go live on mainnet in January. So I think that's everything we wanted to discuss. Does anybody have questions or comments?
Is live on the testnet explorer, and the operator of a space, he can only do like one operation to commit some state to the chain, and its information is shown on the explorer. There are commitments and there are revocations, and so if anyone will play with them, he can like verify the data there.
All right, yes. So if you open like the testnet 4 Explorer now, you should see a top-level space that's called @roll, right? That has some commitments submitted, and it's shown in the Explorer.
Yeah.
And you can get to that from testnet.spacesprotocol.org.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Curious at Bitcoin raised his hand, but I did not see the request.
Yo.
Hey.
What's up? What's up? All right, so I have a few questions. First question is, what's the issuer or the brand? So you just go to the Google Play Store, you just search Nacho. Is it Impervious?
Yes, it's called Nacho. I don't have an Android, but I think, yeah, you could find it. We will also share the link so you could access it directly from the link.
Okay.
Is there maybe a chat here in twitter.com, like just share it now and then to have it in the announcement too? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think there's one for X Spaces.
But you can already, I mean, I've just checked, it's already searchable, so you can go to Google Play Market, enter Nacho, and yeah, you'll see it right away.
All right, I'll check that out. All right, so I have a couple questions about the subs. What happens to, let's say somebody registers a top-level space, they create a bunch of subs, you take a sub on your own, you're using it, and the top-level space expires. What happens to the subs in that situation?
They won't. So subs will never expire. So if you issue a bunch of subs and you give the users like their certificates, even if the top level space expires, and let's say someone else own it, they will not be able to like revoke the ownership of those subs. They will be issued forever, and it will be theirs, like their subs.
Okay. Similar question. What happens if you take a sub and you bring it on Bitcoin main chain through that process? Does that then expire? Does that sub expire if you bring it on main chain?
No, it won't expire as well. You could bring it on chain, transfer it. It won't expire.
Okay. That's cool. That's good stuff. And I just had a question about the marketing. Are we going to do any marketing interviews, anything like that coming soon?
I mean, I think that should be like a major focus for 2026, because we have like all the major components like ready. We've built Akron, the Explorer, Space T, all of it. So this year I think was a productive year. We have Nacho now. So yeah, we do need to focus on like marketing materials, tutorials, posts, and things like that. That would be great.
Yeah, I've been just trying to bring up spaces to people in the comments, asking people about it. And the main things that people, the feedback that I hear is that spaces doesn't scale because there's only 10 spaces per day. And the subspaces require the operator to sign them over. So that's one feedback that came from DK. I don't necessarily agree with that, but that's just some feedback.
What do you mean, like sign them over?
We have to create the subs.
Yes, but like the operator could issue like thousands of subs. But as far as the user is concerned, as long as they could buy a sub from any of the operators that exist, which have an incentive to sell, then that should be fine and practical for our use case.
Curious, were you talking about how on the Telegram channel, DK brought this up like a year ago?
He did. I remember he brought that up a while ago, but no, he was doing a podcast. He has like a show with two other guys that he does, and I'm in the comments of these videos, and I'm asking, hey, what about Spaces Protocol? Because they were talking about BIP 353, and I was saying, that relies on DNS, so that's a weak point. What about Spaces Protocol? There's no need for DNS. And that was just the feedback that he provided, that he thinks a critical issue with it is that it doesn't scale because there's only 10 that come out a day. So I think that might be a point that we could drive home with education, marketing, where, look, this protocol scales extremely well, and here's why.
Yeah. Yeah, and also I think he was concerned about the time between like when you buy the subspace and when it's committed on chain, like that interval where you have to rely on. But yeah, there are ways around that. Like, for example, like the operator could just put it on, could create the subspace and put it on chain and then sell it like trustlessly in a marketplace, something like that. But.
Exactly, yeah, and that would work right now. Like if you try it on testnet 4, it should be possible. So yeah, so you could even technically sell the subspaces directly on chain, and people could buy them permissionlessly without having to trust the operator at all.
That's huge.
But
yeah. So that works on spaces.market right now? Well, not right now because subs, but when subs come out,
yeah, because right now it's on testnet 4, but we don't have a version for Spaces Market on testnet 4, I think. But yes, it will be nice to have this in the Spaces Market.
100%. And the other feedback that I received. I was talking to Robin Sayer. He's doing this live broadcast now instead of the daily podcast. And I brought it up to him asking about Spaces Protocol and what he thinks about it. And his feedback was he doesn't think it's going to work because he wants Bitcoin is money. He wants to focus on Bitcoin as money. And there was something else that he said about it. So Bitcoin is money. So I think there might be a confusion part there where, this doesn't impede Bitcoin from being used as money. It just makes it easier to use Bitcoin overall, including as a value transfer of money.
Yeah. Those are good points about like feedback about how some people, some points that people bring up to that don't really understand yet the benefits of spaces. But yeah, those are good points, like good talking points to bring up to people. Yeah, I think like I think once, it starts getting used more in marketing, like I'm hoping, I really would like, I would love to get, Stacker News users using subspaces for their user IDs. And, once that starts happening, more and more people use it. I think these questions are good. I mean, we want it to be the most decentralized, like strongest, like cypherpunk names possible. So these points like that DK brings up and stuff like that are really good. And it's good to think through all these things. So, I mean, all that stuff is really good. So, but yeah, it's good stuff to think about and know how to respond to and stuff.
Yeah, they're definitely good. And the whole DNS thing where the BIP 353, it seems like it's getting some traction, but when people talk about decentralized, talk about sovereignty, yet they like BIP 353, even though it relies on centralized DNS. So that's a little confusing too. I think that's another strong point that Spaces Protocol can lean into and say, hey, here's a naming system that does not rely on DNS.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that the one confusion I've seen about that is people think DNS is decentralized because like the protocol itself is kind of decentralized, but I don't think they realize like the names behind it are super centralized. So it like, doesn't work. So yeah, I think that's like the main reason I got into all this is because domains are so centralized. So I think that's a good one to talk about too.
Then like you were saying about the usage, that's another humongous piece of the puzzle where Stacker News, if we can use these on Stacker News, Nostr, if we can use these on Nostr, what does it take to use these on Nostr? Do spaces have to be integrated some way into Nostr? So I'm not even sure how. Primal.net, these websites, is there some sort of integration that has to happen so that when I log into Nostr, I can actually use a space's name?
So like we have figured out a way to make it possible to put like space records directly on Nostr relays without even having to modify any of the relay code. So the only modification would need to be done on the client side. And we have made Libertas, like we're going to announce it today, and it will have bindings for every mainstream programming language and platform out there. So you could use it on JavaScript, on Android, on iOS, on everything. And you could just plug it in with a few lines of code. You could integrate spaces. So it will only really depend on if we could get clients like Primal and others to adopt it. But if they want to adopt it, it would not be like a major change on their part. it would be like a very simple use of the SDK that we're building, and they could just use that to support spaces.
Yeah, that's definitely a big piece of the puzzle to get the usage that we can use these things. Another thing I wanted to bring up was the whole situation where when an update happens to Spaces and Acron, the previous versions just fail. They just break. So I'm not used to that because with Bitcoin, a new version could come out with the node and I could still use the old version. So is that going to be like that always whenever there's a new...
So this is not exactly what happened. So there was an expired space, and there was a bug that caused the SpaceD client to crash. And we have fixed that, I think it was 2 days ago, but we haven't made we're making it with the announcement today after the call. So there's a new version for Acron and SpaceD that solves this. But yeah, it's not supposed to like break. I mean, even Bitcoin D sometimes has some issue that makes it crash for whatever reason. But yes, this is a bug. It's not something that should happen normally.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I remember before I didn't update right away to the latest version, I was still able to use the previous version. So this one kind of threw me a little bit. All right, so that's good news because you don't want it to break and then everyone has to update or else they can't use it. And is there a benefit for users running SpaceD? Does it secure the network in some way? Does it decentralize the network? Is it beneficial to have more people using it, like Start9, Umbrel, and put apps in those locations?
So to secure the network is Bitcoin. So you could run a Bitcoin node. But as far as the benefit from running SpaceD is that you verify everything yourself. So you don't have to rely on some public explorer or something to verify spaces. So that would be the main benefit. But yes, to make spaces more secure, just make Bitcoin more secure. Like run more Bitcoin nodes. I mean, I guess running Bitcoin nodes does not necessarily make Bitcoin more secure, but it helps the network at least.
Okay. Yeah, that's good, right? We want to be as 100% Bitcoin as we possibly can, rely on Bitcoin. That's where the security model is. Now, is there an issue? Someone brought it up in the Telegram. I think it was Techno Hippies about the list spaces command where it wasn't showing all his spaces. Is there some sort of timeout feature that's going on with that? If you have too many, perhaps?
I think they said that it's taking a long time to list their spaces, but yes, we will look into it. Probably something very simple that we have to fix on the wallet side to make it a bit faster. Like if you have lots of spaces, to make it load a bit faster.
All right, and a similar question along those same lines is the renew command. I did a renew, it was like 20 spaces or something like that. And it timed out in the CLI, but it actually went through. I saw it on the Spaces Explorer. I verified it on the Bitcoin blockchain. So the CLI gave me a timeout, but it actually went through. Is there a max or is there a recommended how many spaces you should renew in a single command?
There shouldn't be, but it depends on the reason for the timeout, because Space CLI builds the transaction and then tries to broadcast it to the Bitcoin network, and there could be some kind of timeout there, so that maybe we should increase it, or we should look into why it's taking longer to build and broadcast this transaction. So yeah, we could take a look at that and see there's something that we should improve there.
Okay, I appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks, guys, for all your hard work. You guys are doing great. I really think this is a huge project. It's going to help with Bitcoin adoption. And the more we could let people know about this, the more we could actually use it ourselves and show people that we're using it. I think the sky's the limit for this project. So thank you.
Thanks, Curious. Yeah, I think, like up till now, the last 4 years, it's been about building out the foundation. And now with Subspace's release, 2026, I think is going to be about going out and using it and getting people to use it and just showing use cases and things like that. If anybody else would like to ask a question or have a comment, raise your hand or make a request to speak, and we can approve it. Okay, I think this. I think so. We'll do some testing at testnet 4, and in January we'll go live with Subspaces. So that's the plan, and so thanks everybody for joining. And if you have any other questions or comments you want to bring up, the Telegram group is the best place. You can find it. You can find the link on spacesprotocol.org. And I guess that's it. Talk to you guys later.
Thanks. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.